from up here you can see pretty good why I'm stuck here since 8 years. It's just a beautiful place. I hope you like it as I do. So the lagoon today looks really shaken up. Lots of waves, lots of wind. You have many days in the year where this lagoon really lies flat, nearly not moving. But today it's very windy and it moves around a bit. Sea lagoon. Yeah, up the hill here, behind these barbed wire fences, you find some radio communication center here from the French army. At least this is what they say, what they do up there. Maybe it's more like a barbecue. Who knows? Oh, another train coming up here. Let's greet them. Hello! And a wedding just behind it. People are also happy here on this island. You see that? Yeah, they can be happy, the people here. It's certainly a very nice place which has a lot to discover, like the tropical rainforest in the mountains and the world's largest lagoon. But this place has as well some downsides as well, I have to say. For once, let me point you out, for example, to tell you about real estate, let me point you out some houses here to tell you how much they cost. So you see here a corner of the town here, right hand side, which has only houses with red roofs. So these kind of houses, they cost around 1 million, 1.5 million Australian dollar. Just to give you a rough idea of prices of real estate. And if you go in a supermarket here and you want to buy, let's say, 3 pineapples and 15 cherries. Cherries, they are imported, they are not growing here. But still, let's say 3 pineapples and 50 cherries, you pay around $80.
Oh,
so just to give you some ideas here of prices for food, real estate and other things are pretty expensive here. Not easy to live here. Here right hand side there's a towers, that is a hotel as well, that is the Ramada Plaza, and the white tower just on the top of it has all these special windows up there. That is their 360-degree revolving restaurant. Of this hotel there, and yeah, it's a nice place to go there for lunch. You have the beautiful views. Some people go there for dinner. I don't know why. Because it's maybe not so spectacular. I would prefer always to go there for lunch, and you turn around once per hour with your table and beautiful food. So here we go down again of the, what the locals call here the Jourdain road. Often here the local names for places or areas are in connection to one of the 28 years old beaches. For example, Ansvarta, that is a mix, you know the name of this bay here on the right, that is a mix of 2 languages. So Anse, this is French, and that means so much as the handle of a bucket, Anse. Because a handle of a bucket looks a bit like a tube or like a bay. And water, that is coming out of one of the most Melanesian languages, and water means sandalwood. Yeah, so that was a sandalwood bay we just passed through. And as you look out, and here comes the last hotels here in the row of Ansvarta. The very last one, that would be the Noumea. It's a 5-star hotel, which you cannot see from here. corner here, always famous here for the kite surfing. To me, a highly dangerous sport. So so many other sports which you can do in this lagoon. Here we drive along the bay of the Jourdain, and this long stretch that island here on the bay, that is the island of the Holy Mary Island. And we are on the way to the lookout of the Holy Mary as well. It will still take some time, but just to tell you, there's lots of Holy Mary around here everywhere. 60% of the population of New Caledonia is Catholic, and 30% is Protestant. There are some 4% of Muslim here, and the rest must be a mix of Jedi or maybe some other kind of religions that exist besides that. Yeah, this is the lagoon as wild as it gets. This is the waves as highest what you can find here in the lagoon, so surfing is really bad here. But all the other water sports are just good, and I tell you this while we drive along here. Some of our sailing schools here on the right hand side, the kids here in school, they can choose to sail as a school sport. So that is really good. And here comes another train. As we drive so nicely here along the coastline here, maybe I can tell you some more about the history of this island here. So I think I told you about the Canucks coming here first, then the English. James Cook gave the name to the place, remember, and then the French took possession of the place here in 1853. And you remember as well that we have a lot of nickel and other minerals here in the soil, and that was discovered in the 1860s, and the French, they needed some people to mine all that metal, so they invited politely 23,000 French convicts to come to this island here and to do this hard work in the nickel mines, which are open cut, and in the smelters and the other refineries. So it was a convict colony here till 1922. That was the year when the last convicts had been shipped out maybe to other still existing convict colonies, like maybe French Guiana, where that movie Papillon, for example, played as well. So you must imagine a kind of a same situation here, like in that movie with Steve McQueen and Dustin Hoffman. What happened next year on the history timeline, that was certainly then the 1940s, which are to mention. That was a really phase-changing time for New Caledonia and its capital, Noumea. They had been back in time in the 1940s, 70,000 people living here on this island. 10,000 of them lived in the capital, Noumea. And the Americans, when they had chosen this island here as their main military base here for the fighting in the South Pacific, they brought in the first 2 weeks, starting March 1942, 140,000 soldiers onto the island. And in total, between 1942 and 1946, this island saw the passage of over 1 million American soldiers. Amongst them as well, 3,000 Australian soldiers and 17,000 Kiwi soldiers using this place as well here as a base. It was just in a strategic, very good position, a little bit retreated from these battle areas around Papua New Guinea, the war of the Coral Sea, and the fightings around the Solomon Islands like at Guadalcanal. So it was a bit retreated, a bit safe to build here a military base. And just remember, this island is completely surrounded by a huge wall made out of corals, our barrier reef. And it was maybe as well important to build a base here to make sure that the Japanese would not get this island here, because they needed to off the enemy of all kind of resources. So cut them off of metal and cut them off of oil, that was important. And so maybe as well that's why they came here. So the people here felt safe, and they could earn a lot of dollar with the Americans by building all this new infrastructure which was needed in order to have a military base here on this island. So the people had all these dollars here, they had the new built infrastructure, and they felt safe against the enemy. So that was a kind of a win-win situation for this island. Actual fighting never took place here in New Caledonia. The Japanese never made it till here. The last warships went back to their places, to their ports of origin, like maybe San Francisco. In the beginning of 1947, the war was long over, but it certainly took some time that the Americans grabbed all their stuff and gear, what they brought here onto the island, and tried to get it back with them. But it was nearly impossible. They had to leave stuff behind, which was worth several $1 million. So this as well was a good boost to the economy of the island, together with this new infrastructure and all this new machinery and information. That was a very important time for this island here between 42 and 46. So now we take in here the last wind here from the ocean and try to find our way back into the city now, just by taking the next roundabout. Here we have entered since a short moment the old quarter of the town called Tchou. Faubourg just means suburb, French. And Tchou, that was the name of the gentleman who came here with the first French to arrive here. So talking about the 1860s, 1870s, and this Monsieur Tchou, he became so rich and famous by following up on his work that they even named this part of town where he lived here after him. Oh yeah, before I forget. Yet, what did he do for a business? Why did he become so rich? Very easy. He was a freshwater seller. Just by selling water to the people, he became so rich. And why is that so? The French had the strange idea to build that capital into an area which has for the next 20 kilometers no natural freshwater resources. Here is no lake, no river, and so these few people who took this adventurous job on themselves to get water into town from the hinterland, they become very rich and well-known people here. They had built a kind of mobile water tank, maybe pulled by a horse, and they made their way through the lush green. So today it's easy to make 20 kilometers where the next river is. Today you just hop into your Porsche and you drive 20 kilometers, come back in time, barely streets around. That was a difficult job and very good paid. And in these older quarters, amongst all this concrete, here and there you find these nice old houses as well. You just have to look out for them. I will point them out to you maybe. Yeah, here behind this green here, not so good to see. Here on the left, maybe better to see here on the right, this orange painted one. You see that is already a bit bigger house, built on 2 stories, and they could vary in size and shape, these nice old houses. Or the one here on the left with the blue roof, that is a very typical one, just here on the left here. Or here on the left, this little white one with the red color around the windows. And another Porsche. Yeah, and you can find as well here this not so beautiful concrete like here on the left hand side.
Hello!
That was mostly built in the 1960s, 1970s till the mid 1980s even. That was the years of the world economy uprising, and all kind of metals had been very valuable and be demanded all around the globe. So nickel as well, so many people came onto the island here in those years. And these people working in the smelters and in the mines, they needed as well to sleep somewhere and to live somewhere. So these concrete houses and boxes that popped up out of the ground in the 1970s like mushrooms in the forest. And they are mixing in these days with these old colonial style houses and these more recent built buildings which have maybe more glass and steel to it rather than concrete. Yeah, nearly out of the Faubourg Blanchot, and here on the left is coming a mobile gas station. I know that doesn't sound so exciting, but that was the emplacement back in time for one of the 2 guillotines being in town here till 1933. They chopped off over 100 heads here. Yeah, now it's a gas station. Yeah, and this guillotine was right here because the prison of the town was just down the road here on the left-hand side, and then you look on the right side of the road, this little beige-colored building, that was the old prison of the town, which is in these days a kind of an art cafe. And so here was one of the guillotines, and now here is this cross here with Jesus Christ, maybe as well to remember on these dead people. Yeah, and it was just maybe the French way back in time to say I love you, hey, it makes the people a head shorter, schluck. That was the French way back in time, but today they are a bit nicer. The French, and we have now here some French army terrain in front of us. There will come up on your left an old military chapel, not in use any longer, so, and some other buildings as well here from the French army and construction. Here on the right, you have in the moment an opportunity to glimpse on this beautiful old building which is behind that wall, the ex-French infantry barracks. And in these days it's a building for the French army and their administration of it. Yeah? So it has been always in the hands of the French army, but in these days it's for the administration, the war of paper. Yeah, here left-hand side, that is the war memorial for the end of First and end of Second World War, and on the right that old building as mentioned, which was built as well by the French convicts. Just the upper part, which looks a bit different, that was built later and put on top just to enlarge the infantry barracks back in time. And so here on the left is this square which is in front of the war memorial. That is named after one of the battlegrounds where the men of this island here have fought against the Axis power in the northern Africa, in the Libyan desert. This is the square Bir Hakeim. Yeah, so the men of this island here fighting the Italians and the Germans in northern Africa. Tiger Lily will put us up now the hills here and get us to our next highlight, the Notre Dame du Pacific Lookout, Our Lady of the Pacific Lookout, with this beautiful statue of the Holy Mary. And on the way up here, I saw there are some lychee trees, and they're already having these red colored lychees on them. Here is one tree coming here on the left. And there is another one coming a bit later on. This is all full with lychees. And there are so many other beautiful fruits here on this island. If it's the pawpaw, or maybe the grapefruits, or the mangoes, or the bananas. It's beautiful, it's delicious. Down the road here on the left, more lychee trees. I don't know if you can see them. They look similar to the mango trees. Here's another one here on the left here, full with lychee. So, but when they are having their fruits, then you can make clearly the difference between the mangoes and the lychees.